This is a personal video. Usually I cover games on here, but this is personal. Sometimes I make videos forgetting how people will perceive me on here. What do I mean? This is my 4th YouTube channel. My first YouTube channel, within a year, I had 3,000 subscribers. Then there was a bunch of false reports. I couldn't communicate with YouTube, and well, after so many strikes, one channel down. When people don't like you, they might put a false report that causes you to get a strike on your channel, and then you get 3 of those and you're out. That happened on 2 more of my YouTube channels after that, right? I would get up, grow pretty fast, then I would go through all these attacks and people not liking me, and that can harm you on here, and then false reports, strikes, I can't communicate to YouTube, gone. Well, finally I can communicate to YouTube. And of course I had some trouble when I started this channel, false reports, but finally I interacted with YouTube on what they call X. And there goes the strikes, taken care of, gone. Right, so I'm okay. And here I am. But I've been around YouTube for over 10 years. And I would have liked to have seen where I would have gotten without the character assassination, the false reports, and everything. But around the old school part of what we call the tabletop role-playing game hobby online, I am well known. I am well known as if I have a bigger following than what you see right now. But you don't know that. And you don't know my history. And when I talk about things on here, sometimes I forget that you don't know that. You see a small following, and you have no idea about my experience, my knowledge, and everything else. You don't know, given what you see, that I'm more popular than what the numbers let on, right? Like, more people know about me around the old school than you would think. You think, you see 1,000. It's like, that's it? Really? Well, I've been around this for a minute, and yeah, a lot of people know me. Sometimes it's for good reason. In the past, I reacted to drama, so of course sometimes it's for bad reasons, but I am well known. And I've been up and down on the growth thing, right? I've had some success, some failures. I've learned, right? That's how it really works on here. But I have more knowledge about this than you might think I have when you look at what the numbers are right now. I'm taking a different approach to YouTube. No drama, no nothing, focused on games, and understanding under those conditions I grow a bit slower, but I think I'm after a much larger audience. You can do cheap content, grow pretty fast, but what you find out is there's a ceiling. And when you get close to that ceiling, you find out that's it. The majority of the audience, well, they're not into drama, they're not into things that would be cheap, that would normally grow you fast, so it's stimulating to grow pretty fast, but again, you hit a ceiling, and that is it. When you go to the wider audience, the bigger audience, they're more picky. They want you to prove who you are, not do a switch, not play cheap, not do all that, but it could take some time. So sometimes it takes a bit for you to grow if you don't have some major backing, like a big company or something like that. What I do know is once you really prove who you are and you do consistent good content and you don't play that cheap game, well, it might take you a while. When the audience finally accepts you and you start getting a little bigger, you'll hit a point where you grow pretty fast. And what you find out through all your hard work and your patience and not being cheap with the audience is there's a much bigger ceiling with the legit content. So I've decided after, having a history of reacting to some people that say silly things, I realize, the audience really doesn't want that. For the last month or so, I have stayed away from all that and redirected all my content, all of it, towards focusing on gaming and going through that hard work, process of growing in a legit way, going after a much bigger audience. That's the aim. It's already proven to be good. I'm growing, I'm not losing people, And people respect the content, and it's helping them out with their gaming, informing them, entertaining them. And, well, they find it interesting, which is good. And I'll keep working towards that, doing legit content, being a straightforward, honest YouTuber, and going after that real audience, that much bigger audience, and playing drama, playing the cheap game. You know, I did a video about WotC Dungeons and Dragons YouTubers now sort of leaving YouTube in a way. They're not making as much money, they're not getting the same watch time and views, and so some of them have decided to give up on that and aim somewhere else. Now, I gave my thoughts on it, but I gave my thoughts on it as a YouTuber who's been around for over 10 years and had some peak growth at different points. And so I know a bit about this, and I talked about it, and somebody came across the video and said, "What do you know? You have 1,000 subscribers. You don't know anything about YouTube." And I'm like, well, I get that. I get why that person thinks that, and I get that person doesn't know me or my history on here or my knowledge. So I figured I'd just talk about it a bit. Let my new members and maybe even some of my old subscribers know about my history, where, yeah, the truth is I have a lot of experience on YouTube, and I've had forms of success, pretty high at times, and then some low, and I've learned a lot about this. I decided, well, focus on the audience, not myself. I spent a lot of years doing what I want to do on here. Early on, when I played a bit to the drama, like many, many years ago, it actually helped, but it was cheap. And I realized now after many years, that was an audience I didn't want. And so, I'm just letting you know where I'm at. I'm ready to serve the people, the audience, serve what they want, be a servant to the people instead of to my own needs. Because the audience doesn't reward you for serving yourself. They reward you for serving them. And that's my aim. If I want the reward, I got to serve you. I'm more than willing to do that. And anyone who's with me right now, I hope you noticed that I have given up on all this nonsense and I stick to gaming. That's my future. That is exactly where we're going. Just gaming. Okay, just giving a heads up. So if you wonder why sometimes you might hear me on the stream talk about YouTube or something like that, just understand, I'm not new. I'm not a complete failure on here, right? I'm not lacking. It has to do with my history on here and real knowledge and wisdom I have about this whole game. So when I share it, I think it's legit, but I figured I should explain myself instead of just expecting you to buy that. I get it. There's what you see, and then there's the truth. And if you don't know the truth, how can I be bothered? How could I ever be mad at you for judging what I'm saying in a bad way, in a poor way, right? You're actually right to think I know nothing. So, here I am, cleaning up that ignorance. I know something, and now you know I know something. Okay, I love you. Back to gaming.